Hey, how did you get in my house? I mean, obviously, I'm happy to see you're here. You kind of startled me because I was in the middle of something, and I think I remember locking the front door. You know what? It's no big deal. You just caught me in the kitchen brushing up on my culinary abilities because, as you know, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and we're having a little get together at my place. I volunteered to be in charge of the dinner, and it's going, it's going all right. I'll have all that figured out by the date of the party. Honestly, what I'm more concerned about than preparing something that's somewhat edible is the entertainment. You see, when we have Halloween or Christmas parties, we can all sit back and relax while watching some of the classic films associated with those holidays. Obviously, I have no problem going on and on about Halloween media, and with all the money thrown around during Christmas, I don't think that we'll ever run out of options there. As long as Hallmark continues to reign supreme, there will forever be new Christmas media. But when looking at the holiday that's kind of sandwiched in between the two, is it just me, or is it genuinely hard to think of some truly outstanding examples? Where are the Thanksgiving movies? Why don't we have as many absolute classics associated with this holiday as opposed to the others? What am I going to put on during our family get-together, and is it just me, or is it getting really hot in here? I've been thinking about Thanksgiving media a lot lately because even though we tend to kind of skip over it in favor of the more commercialistic Black Friday sale Mariah Carey hit single buy now, buy now, buy now holiday that comes after it, Thanksgiving is truly the beginning of what we dub the holiday season. It's when we notice the weather start to change, if you don't live in Texas. It's when we start making plans to travel and deal with the nightmare that can be. It's when we reunite with family and friends that we maybe haven't seen since, well, the last Thanksgiving, and catch up. It's the beginning of the end of a year, the transition into the next, where we all come together and be thankful that we made it through another. And for this video, I decided to watch a bunch of Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving-related media to see if I could find some examples that I think perfectly capture the mood of the holiday. Hopefully I'll find something that I can put on at my party, and maybe we can answer the totally subjective question of what's the best Thanksgiving movie? Before we get more into it though, if you're like me and spend most of your day in front of a computer screen editing or gaming or leaning back and watching hours upon hours of movies, it's important to invest in a good chair, and the chair that you've seen me sitting in for most of my videos served me okay for a while, but after years of use and wear, I found myself unable to stay in it for very long. I didn't feel properly supported and would often deal with back and neck pain. Its design was simply not ergonomic enough. I was in the market for a change, and if you can believe it, I was contacted by my very first sponsor at the perfect time. This video is brought to you by Flexispot and their C7 series chair that I have been using for a good while now and has genuinely changed everything about how I work, game, watch movies, and just relax. With adaptive lumbar support that can lock to perfectly fit your back, a 4-level lockable backrest that reclines up to 128 degrees, 5 levels of backrest height adjustment, and 3D headrest adjustment, the C7 series is completely customizable for maximum support and comfort. Speaking of comfort, the C7 series offers wider and larger seat cushions than competing ergonomic chairs, and is one of the few brands that actually offers a footrest. In addition to being completely customizable in person, when you place your order on Flexispot's website, you'll be presented with several size and build options as well, including color and choice of foam or mesh material. It's important to me that I feature a product on my channel that I genuinely stand behind, and I think it's equally as important to take care of yourself, whether you're working hard or playing hard, and I truly believe that the C7 series is a great investment. They were selected by CNET as the best office chair of 2024, and I could not agree more. If you're interested in purchasing one of these fine chairs, please visit www.flexispot.com or click my link in the description, and be sure to use my discount code to save yourself $50 off your order. The holidays are coming up, so be sure to treat yourself or a friend to a comfortable workstation this Black Friday. Check out the Flexispot C7 series ergonomic chair and place your order today. You will not regret it. And thank you so much to Flexispot for sponsoring this video. So to start this whole video off, I think we should begin by looking at the media that is explicitly about Thanksgiving first, as few examples as there may be. We should also look at what each of these examples gets right about the holiday, because as with any piece of holiday media, it's important to nail down the familiar experiences and overall ideas that the holiday represents by examining or criticizing why and how we celebrate it. For many, Thanksgiving is first and foremost about the family get-together, the meals shared, the stories swapped, and the inevitable drama that unfolds from having so many different personalities confined to a single dining space. It can be a great setting for not only drama to unfold, but comedy. There are several scenes that may be immediately coming to mind for several of you, but at least for now, I'm not focusing on movies that just happen to have a single Thanksgiving sequence, but overall don't focus on the holiday as a major part of the story. Thanksgiving-themed films are typically family-oriented, walking the line between drama and comedy. Their plots revolve around the struggles of hosting a large group of people for a few days or a single evening, arriving to the function on time amidst the chaos of holiday travel, and dealing with the fallout that can come from such a mix of personalities, some of whom might intentionally avoid one another until the holiday, being forced into interaction. One of the first things that comes to mind when I hear Thanksgiving movie is an image of a family gathered together around a large feast or huddled together in a living room, swapping gossip and catching up. Screenwriters can use the setting of the party to explore family drama, each person having an opinion of another and weaving in between bodies to discuss said opinion with a guest they are particularly close to or hash it out with the guest they feel has wronged them, all while the host desperately tries to keep spirits up. One of the most clever uses of the Thanksgiving party that I've ever seen is in Hannah and Her Sisters. This film actually takes place over 3 Thanksgivings. The first opens the film, introduces our characters, and sets up the conflicts between them. The second takes place at the height of the drama, where the events that have transpired over the past year make the get-together all the more tense. And the final Thanksgiving that closes the film shows us where these characters have all ended up and how they've worked through their individual situations. I love the way these scenes are shot. The takes are long, following characters from room to crammed room, making the audience feel as though they're a fly on the wall watching all of this brilliantly acted drama unfold. Aside from the Thanksgiving scenes, there are some absolutely gorgeous shots of New York in the fall that really help to get you in the mood for the holiday. This truly is an excellent film, and if you can get past who directed it, I recommend you check it out if you haven't. While Hannah and Her Sisters certainly has its comedic moments, if you're looking for a full-blown comedy to put on, then allow me to shout out one of my personal favorites. Interestingly, Grumpy Old Men doesn't just cover Thanksgiving, but the entire holiday season. The film begins before Thanksgiving. The relationship drama between Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau really begins after what unfolds on Thanksgiving with their new neighbor. Their rivalry grows more and more intense as Christmas approaches, and it all comes to a head on Christmas Day. Aside from starring 2 absolute comedy legends whose chemistry is undeniable, Grumpy Old Men is shot in Minnesota, where snowy exteriors beautifully contrast the warm, cozy interiors where Lemmon and Anne Margaret's characters grow closer. As funny as this movie is, it manages to also pull at my heartstrings a little bit, becoming this sweet meditation on aging, finding love again, and burying the hatchet in the spirit of the holidays. Now, you know me, I can't help but find a way to talk about horror even in a wholesome holiday video. Every holiday has its obligatory themed slasher film, but while Halloween and Christmas have absolute classics that bear their name, again, Thanksgiving doesn't have a whole lot to offer, but there are 2 standout examples that I can think of. Just last year, the slasher Thanksgiving hit theaters, based off of the fake Grindhouse trailer. A lot of people enjoyed this one, and while I personally didn't find it all that great, there's some things about it that I did enjoy. For one, as a fan of practical gore, I really liked the kills in this one. They strike the perfect balance of horrific and hilariously over the top. Some of them specifically themed around this climactic Thanksgiving feast that takes place toward the end. Another thing that I think Thanksgiving did well, albeit with all the subtlety of a nuclear bomb, is the opening sequence where an early Black Friday sale causes chaos that results in the deaths of several people and serves as the motivation for our slasher. As silly as this movie is, It's a welcome bit of commentary about our consumerist culture that floods into stores, even on the eve of Thanksgiving, just to get a TV that's slightly marked down in price. There's also Thanksgiving, the weird horror comedy film that was produced for like $3,000 and managed to get a sequel that I'm not gonna spend any time talking about, as I don't want to incur the wrath of James A. Janice. Stepping away from the world of film for a bit, it's worth mentioning the Thanksgiving TV specials that many of us grew up with. I think we all have a favorite Charlie Brown holiday special, and while the Christmas special will always hold a place in my heart, I can't deny the warm, fuzzy feelings that I get from a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. The best thing about this special for me are the backgrounds. The use of those great fall colors enveloping our characters, and all their interactions scored by that iconic jazzy piano just feels right. I just love watching Woodstock and Snoopy eat together. There are several animated TV series that have their own dedicated Thanksgiving episode. Hey Arnold, Garfield, The Simpsons, Arthur. Bob's Burgers has several Thanksgiving episodes, as it's the main character's favorite holiday. My favorite thing about watching all of these episodes and specials is seeing how the season is portrayed in all of the different art styles. As much as there are characteristics of the holiday like friendship, family, and obviously thankfulness, there's also a very strong visual appeal, something that can perfectly capture the right vibes. And though we struggle to find media that is both strictly Thanksgiving themed and truly outstanding, it's much easier to find those examples that get the vibe right. Fantastic Mr. Fox isn't a Thanksgiving movie, but Fantastic Mr. Fox is absolutely a Thanksgiving movie, if that makes any sense. Just look at it. Wes Anderson's very specific style just feels at home in the autumn season, and a story following anthropomorphic animals coming together as a community to survive and be grateful for one another, with not one, not two, but 3 speeches from the main character about how thankful he is for everyone, with the first being over a grand feast. Yeah, it's a Thanksgiving movie, and it's one of the very best ever. For many, movies that you watch around Thanksgiving don't necessarily have to be strictly about Thanksgiving. It's just gotta nail the autumn atmosphere. Couples walking beneath trees that are turning color and shedding their leaves in the breeze, wearing long coats and reflecting on the season as it changes before their very eyes. People getting together for a nice meal or to just watch the game. That specific kind of romance that just seems to hit harder amid shades of orange and yellow. I've already made a video talking about this series, but Over the Garden Wall is just the perfect series to watch this time of year, and they just recently put out a stop-motion short by Aardman to celebrate their 10-year anniversary that also captures the beauty of the series in a new light. And yes, there are the movies that may not be entirely about the holiday, but do feature scenes of it. Spider-Man's iconic dinner that perfectly balances tension and humor, or the night of Rocky and Adrian's first date are personal favorites of mine, but there are several more examples that I'm sure you'll be mentioning in the comments below. Ultimately, it's whatever you connect with the most. Maybe you're a fan of something entirely visual, or maybe it's the elements of the story that draw you in and give you that feeling you're looking for. At the end of the day, the best Thanksgiving media is whatever you decide to put on as this time of year rolls around. But, I don't know. While I do believe that sentiment, it still feels like a bit of a cop-out, you know? Like, is there a piece of Thanksgiving media that entirely focuses on the holiday and is well-written, thematically appropriate, and highly entertaining? Why, yes there is. It's Freebirds. You know, the movie where they go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. That's right. The movie where they go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. I want to thank all of you who kept that joke going in the comments of my community post, and I also want to thank Shay Frillas, who I consider responsible for the glory of Freebirds. Although I'm using it as a bit of a joke here, a lot of people grew up with this one, and if you're one of those who watches it every year, good for you. In all seriousness, there's really only one film that can claim the title of essential Thanksgiving movie. It's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Where's your other hand? Between 2 pillows. Those aren't pillows. Ah!
Yes, to all of you who really thought I was going to end the video without talking about it and already left a comment without even watching, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is more than just a great Thanksgiving movie. It's just a great movie. John Hughes writes and directs a film that marked a shift in his style that he had developed over the years, moving away from the teen films he was known for writing and tackling something much more relatable to regular working-class adults from all kinds of backgrounds. Steve Martin is well off, but he's overworked and just trying to get home to his family for Thanksgiving. He can be kind of a jerk in the film, but he brings a humanity to the role that sympathizes his character to the audience. I think we can all relate to the idea of the insane series of misfortunes that befall us when all we want to do is just get home and spend time with our families for the holidays. The comedy is excellent, brilliantly paced with excellent line delivery from Martin, but if we're gonna be real, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles belongs to John Candy.
I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
Candy gives this movie its heart. Yes, he's a bit accident-prone, annoying, and gets our protagonists into all kinds of trouble, but you never hate him because he's just so damn earnest. You truly believe that he means no harm and just wants to be friendly. And that's not easy to do with a character like this. It takes the skill of someone like John Candy to make this work, and he pulls it off expertly. His physical humor and lines of dialogue still leave me in stitches, but then he pulls the rug out from underneath you and hits you with some of the most heartbreaking moments in any comedy. Truly his greatest performance in my opinion. And with him being in Home Alone as well, he's a staple of two of the best holiday movies of all time. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles doesn't even have a scene that shows the Thanksgiving dinner, and it's still the best. It doesn't need it. It understands what it's all about. It's about people. The people we love, the people we've lost, the people we miss, and the people that we meet and form connections with. People that may drive us crazy, but over a nice meal we can reflect on what good they've done for us and be thankful they're in our lives. Whatever you decide to watch, I hope you have the happiest of Thanksgivings and whatever you're cooking turns out edible. Pray for me. Thanks for coming over and visiting with me. I really do love having you, but again, maybe call me next time or message me over on Discord by joining my Patreon, along with all of these lovely people. As always, I want to thank my executive producer, Lapis Lazuli VA, and my new executive producer, Lizard Gang. The Patreon is growing and I couldn't be happier. Again, I want to thank Flexispot for sponsoring this video. Please consider clicking my link in the description and using my code so you can save $50 on your C7 series chair just in time for Black Friday. Tell me what you're thankful for in the comments. Me, I'm thankful for all of you watching and subscribing. We're getting so close to 30,000 subscribers now. We've got a sponsor, the Patreon is getting more members. There are big things happening with the channel, and I couldn't be more happy right now. You all mean the world to me. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.